But moving on to topic number 4, and that's the Anthony Davis injury. I know it was kind of scary the other night. There was rumors and people were talking about an Achilles injury, and that's when I was like, oh my goodness, like that could be huge. Obviously, a big drop for the Lakers, but just a big loss for Anthony Davis himself if he had to suffer that. Luckily, it turned out to not be an Achilles, and so they're saying, I believe, a high ankle sprain at the moment. But he's still gonna be sidelined for a few weeks.
Right. So I think the worry was that he ruptured his Achilles, which he got an MRI I think 2 nights ago. That's not what happened. I think he's got a calf strain, and he's also his right Achilles has some kind of tendonitis, something about the Achilles that's related to tendonitis. I don't know all the terminology, but I think he's gonna. What I've seen, Adrian Wojnarowski from ESPN tweeted, I think, a couple days ago that he's not coming back before the league schedule resumes after the All-Star break. That's March 10th, so he's going to miss at least 10 to 11 games. So if I'm the Lakers, you just won a title. You're in good position in the West. You're probably not going to get to first place with the way the Jazz are going. You don't really need to. This isn't the year where you really got to worry about home court advantage with the amount of fans that are let in the arena. So let Anthony Davis rest. If he's ready to go on March 10th, you play him. Right now, rest him. There's no reason to rush him back. I think the biggest question you now have is, does this put so much on LeBron James, who's now 36 years old, same age as me, which is crazy, and you, and is he now, he's considered old in the NBA. Is it a lot more wear and tear on LeBron now that Anthony Davis is going to be out for a few more weeks?
Well, first off, I'm 37.
You old man. I'll be there in a couple of weeks, buddy.
But yeah, no, I agree. It puts a little bit more pressure on LeBron James, but I think he's going to be fine, to be honest. I mean, he's one of those players, kind of like a Ronaldo, that's just been getting better with age, and I think this is going to be one of those moments where LeBron likes to take it on himself, to be honest, and because people are going to question, can he do it? And so I think he's going to show up. He's going to show up big. I don't know. Did you see him pull up from the logo the other night and airball it?
Yeah, that wasn't pretty. That wasn't pretty. He wasn't looking back for anybody on that one. But
that was a funny moment. But obviously, I don't think he's going to be pulling up from the logo too much like Steph and Dame Lillard. But if he gets back to his normal game of running the court, rebounding, and distributing, I think you're going to see a lot more of why this guy has been named the MVP of the league multiple times. And honestly, over the last few seasons, I don't know why he hasn't been named the league MVP more times, because, to be honest, I think the year that Giannis won it, I would disagree. I think that LeBron James was the MVP that year. I would say that LeBron James was the MVP of the league pretty much almost every year that we've had recently, except for the year, I believe it was 2 years ago, when James Harden went off in Houston and really carried the Rockets. I did believe that James Harden deserved that one, and he was the MVP of the league that year. But other than that, it's been LeBron James, and the guy should have more of those trophies in his cabinet. So I think this is going to be one of those moments where he's going to get a chance to carry the Lakers. I think, like you said, they kind of just have to, don't panic, put it in cruise control a little bit. You are going to lose some games. It's more of a long haul at this point. Let's rest our star. When we're talking about tendonitis, that's an overuse injury. So, these guys are getting a lot of miles coming from playing youth basketball, to high school, to college, to now the NBA. So you really got to rest your stars at some point. So it's good for load management at this point. And, and I guess that even speaks more to LeBron James with how many miles this guy's put in, and he's still out there just like, a good old American GMC truck just tearing it up.
Yeah, LeBron is a cyborg, so I think he'll be all right, man. I don't think he's going to be sitting out too many games. They might rest him here and there, but I think you're right about the MVP thing. One of the reasons why LeBron hasn't won the MVP, I think, is a couple of things. One, there have been some years, he's actually sat out 15 to 20 games. That was with the Cavs. And then he really sat out his first year with the Lakers. I think he played 35, maybe even more than that, but he didn't play a full season. So I think a lot of, voters said, well, you're not going to win the MVP if you don't play that many games. You don't have to play 82, but if you're only playing 62, then I think there is a difference there. This year, even though he's still the best player in the league, this year, he just seems to be a man on a mission. And now that Anthony Davis is out, LeBron, like you mentioned, is just going to be more hyper focused. I think he's going to try to get another MVP. He's now thinking about his legacy. You know, he's got, what is it, 4 titles. So he's still chasing Jordan for 2 more. But the MVPs is part of that too. Like when you're talking about the greatest player of all time, it's going to be him and Jordan once LeBron hangs it up. And MVPs are part of that discussion. I think he's going to be chasing after at least 1 more this year with the Lakers. Just the toughest part about it is the schedule. We've talked about it, you know, throughout our life of this show, is how condensed the NBA schedule is. You got back-to-backs, you got games every other night, basically. So that's going to be the toughest part going forward, I think, for LeBron. But I think he's definitely going to be trying for that next MVP this year in 2021.